take a look at the apparently the one streamer that decided to run over something. Is it justified? Like I said, we talked about this before, so like I still personally think everyone's at fault here. The system, the police system and everything to take care of this guy that's harassing him failed. The guy that's harassing him is also a dumbass. And then this guy also admitting on camera or so that he wanted to, well, can't say it, but you know exactly what I'm meaning or so. So honestly, they're all at fault to a degree because it's just kind of like, you don't say that on camera. No matter how angry you are or how angry you get, I'll be honest with you, you just don't do that. I understand why he did, but the way he did it is stupid. It is very, to be honest. So I did hear that he got banned off of Kick. And then I also heard that he also called that one Kick streamer, I don't know his name, and asked for lawyers and stuff like that. So apparently all of that stuff. I'd be very curious if there's any more or so, if I'm missing anything. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, that's his name. I'd be curious if there's any more information or anything that just happened. So, apparently this happened like what, yesterday or something like that?
Is he dead? Hopefully.
Guys, I think it is really cool and absolutely.
Yeah, you don't really, I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't really say that. Literally, no matter how pissed off you are, yeah, don't say that. You really actually don't say that. Because number one, it makes you look crazy. Let's keep it a square buck here. I'll be honest with you. If you say stuff like that, like just nonchalantly or so, just because, this guy was annoying the crackers out of you, it's just kind of like, well, it doesn't make you look like a pretty good sane person at the end of the day. Like I said specifically, they're all at fault. Everybody's at fault here.
Absolutely not at all terrifying that we are living in a time right now where I can make 2 separate videos back to back about 2 separate streamers running people over while they are live streaming.
Wait, who's the other two that got ran over?
I don't think the fact that is happening is going to surprise a single person who clicks on either one of those videos. I think that's super duper cool and not at all a horrifying sign of how bad things have gotten. Wouldn't you agree? Ladies and gentlemen, I truly am beginning to believe that we are—
This is literally the guy who is Looksmaxxing, because we've made a video specifically on this guy and how he peer pressured his girlfriend to literally start doing Looksmaxxing because he wants to look good, because he doesn't want to live very long. That's why. This is, so backstory, right? He has done quite a few, plastic surgery and everything like that to look like this, basically. And then he also peer pressured his girlfriend as well to do the same thing at a very young age. The thing is like they're still kids and they're still developing. So they are going to age like milk. I know that for a fact.
For like a content renaissance. Really, I sincerely do. I think we are at the point where something has to give, and something has to give soon. For years, I feel like it's felt like the 2000s, where the most famous people, the most popular people, are just those that can be the most controversial and get the most people to hate them. That's really what it's felt like since like 2020. And I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, it is very much so getting old. I am beyond ready for the cultural pendulum to kind of rest in the middle again, and for it not to be constantly swinging wildly back and forth like a fucking broken amusement park ride, to where every major influencer and really like every major celebrity is just a person pointing at the other side saying, look at those idiots, they should be thrown in prison for having different thoughts than me. Anyways, with all that being said, you might be wondering at this point, what does any of that have to do with what we're talking about today, August? And to that, I'll say something. Today we are talking about the popular streamer slash vehicular manslaughterer, Clavicular, who I feel like fits into this category of modern day influencer.
That's a good pun,
very
I'm
well.
not gonna
Now, if you've
lie.
never heard of this guy, I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't really tell you what he's popular for. I think it's just the whole Looksmaxxing shit.
Yeah,
now, if you don't know what
it is. It's just
Looksmaxxing is,
Looksmaxxing.
that's not a huge deal. I don't think it's all that important for what we're actually talking
is,
about
like,
today, but I will give you a
maxing
quick
out his
rundown.
looks.
Basically, Looksmaxxing is a term that basically refers to doing anything and everything in order to look your absolute best. It is usually used and
I'm gonna be honest with you, trapping femboys are just better. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just saying. Like there are there, like, you know, it can't be pulled, like, it can't be pulled off every single guy, right? You gotta have your guys that are muscular and everything like that, and then you gotta have your clean cut guys in a suit. That's all I gotta say. Love a guy in uniform. And you gotta have your cute femboy in traps, okay? All right, that's all I gotta say, you know. But I still personally like the cute ones, you know.
Like done by young men, and a very important
I'm
distinction
not
here,
a
it's
fan of
usually done by guys in their
Looksmaxxers
teenage
or
years who have
whatever the
not
fuck you wanna
fully
pronounce
finished
this.
puberty. They do things that I'm sure you've heard about on social media, like mewing or
'Cause it's
bone
fake.
smashing. Basically, it's just all pseudoscience bullshit, but these guys are usually doing these things while implementing other huge lifestyle changes, like eating nothing but chicken, rice, and broccoli, going to the gym 6 times a week, and using peptides or steroids. Also, importantly, they do these things throughout the years while they're finishing puberty. And for some reason that I can't fucking understand, I don't know if it's like some weird cope, all those things.
This guy, I don't know why. This guy gives me like bad vibes. Like, I feel like I've seen a movie or something like this where a guy looks really, really, really hot and attractive and everything. But then like deep down or so, he's a crazy psycho killer. I don't know if there's a movie or something like that, but this gives me that same freaking vibe or so. I don't know why. He just really does give me that kind of like unhinged vibe or so. I don't know. I can't prove it, but it really does give me that vibe from this guy. And the most smallest thing will make this guy snap for some apparent reason. American Psycho, is that what that is? I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch TV shows or anything like that, but he really gives me like that one vibe. I don't know why. I can't prove it though. But if it does happen many years down the line that this guy gets arrested for something like that, I told you so. That's all I gotta say, you know?
Are ignored, and they're like, no, the reason that I have a jawline's not because I grew up 6 years and also lost 70 pounds compared to when I was 14. It's because I hit myself in the face with a hammer every night. It's all pseudoscience bullshit. It's literally just dudes getting older and getting leaner and being like, hey, I look older and leaner. It must be because I tune into Clavicular's stream every night. And if you've done that, if you've been tuning into Clavicular's stream every night, then you would know that this guy is not really the best dude out there. I feel like this guy is almost like a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier, and like what the modern day climate, the modern day landscape of content creation is producing. This is a guy who drops as many slurs as he possibly can during every single live stream, tries to impress a young, impressionable male audience by doing stuff like have women suck his penis on live. No, I'm not joking. All of his content.
What the? Whoa. Are you serious? You can actually do this? You don't get banned for this? Damn, damn, you can have your dick sucked live on stream and you don't even get banned for it. That's actually fucking wild, to be honest. I never thought to hear that. Yeah, he kind of gives me this vibe or so that like he looks good and everything, but then like something deep down inside of him or so, there's just like something weird about it, you know. I can't prove it though, but like definitely gives off that vibe or so, you know.
Seems to either be him like rating the looks of other dudes, talking about how he does meth to stay lean, or going into bars and
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he takes meth to become leaner. Let that sink into you. He does that to become lean. So you know. And I'm still kind of like, I'm like, all of this stuff that he is doing is like a conglomeration of like something gonna go wrong or so later down in life. I just have a suspicious feeling that something is literally gonna happen later down the life.
Approaching women, normally being rejected in a way
Well,
that
apparently he doesn't want to be older. He wants to be as good looking and young as much as he can before he dies young. That's basically is what he said. Like, he'd rather die young looking great than die old and decrepit. Even though, like, literally, that is the cycle of life, you know? You look young when you're young. You're getting older when you're older. That's just how it is, you know?
unbearable to watch, so I'm not gonna make you watch it. But I say that I feel like he's the perfect example because everything he does seems so contrived. Like, it really doesn't seem like he wants to be doing any of this, and maybe I'm kind of talking for him, but it just doesn't seem genuine. It does not seem like he actually wants to be kind of playing this character, but since that's what's popular, that's what he's doing. And being this character,
Sorry
being
for pausing so much, but here, look. To all of my male audiences, literally on YouTube or so, don't listen to this guy, okay? Work on yourself, but don't do what he does, okay? You know, go to the gym, you know, work out, eat healthier, you know, work on your hygiene, get a skincare routine, you know, work on yourself, okay? Like, literally just work out the best that you can with yourself, at least with the things that you can do, that you can change, okay? All right? Don't do what he is doing. Don't do what he does. Don't do the whole Looksmaxxing. And trust me, you're gonna feel a lot better. You know, you're gonna look at yourself in the mirror or something. You're gonna be like, damn, I've changed so much with like the routine that I have changed, the things that I've done. I've eaten healthier and all of this other shenanigans. And now it's just kind of like, I feel 10 times more better, you know? And now it's just kind of like this specifically, this guy is, I'll be honest with you, don't take him serious because he just wants to, you know, look young forever. He's letting get the fame to his head on top of my head. I know I have a couple of young audiences. I would assume they're pretty impressionable the way how they look and everything like that. Trust me, this is not the way how it should go. Okay, all right, this is just not the way. Just work on yourself that you can, okay? Don't be brainwashed by the black pill, that side or so of Looksmaxxing or going off in the deep end of the red pill or so, you know? Just work on yourself, you know? That's it. Shut the fuck up before I fucking long stroke your mom in the fucking back and fucking give her a cum blast that she'll never forget that she came from the Niagara Falls. Shut the hell up, Dubstep!
Kind of person who does this kind of shit has been putting him into a lot of controversial situations recently, with one that happened the other day, which might genuinely kind of put an end to his life as he knows it. The other night, Clavicular, who I'm going to be calling Brayden because I don't really want to say Clavicular 100 times throughout this video, was live streaming and a stream sniper jumped onto the hood of his Cybertruck. Now, real quick, I want to mention that pretty much everything we're going to be talking about today, other than the fact that Clavicular or Brayden ran over a guy, is sort of just up in the air.
Because he's the guy that literally is against the Looksmaxxing and the black pill, and he's trying to literally say go for it. That's the reason why I'm calling his bullshit out. That's why. Humble my ass, dude.
Nothing I'm going to say in this video I can confirm as true, other than what we actually have on video, but a lot of this stuff does seem to sort of be the consensus of people who are like really involved in this kind of content and keep up with it all, but I feel like a lot of this alleged context is very important for how this situation is viewed. So with that being said, this guy who jumped on Brayden's hood had apparently been like stalking and harassing him throughout that day, with a lot of different sources claiming that at one point he was armed with a pistol while threatening Brayden. Now this is important because after this guy jumped onto the hood of Brayden's Cybertruck, he accelerated, and from the video it looks like he crashed this guy into another car, pinning him between a truck and Brayden's Cybertruck. It's
Well, wait. Is that what literally happened, or was it? I thought he just ran him over or something like that.
currently unknown what happened to the guy, but I can't imagine it's very good. What's important here is all of this happened on camera. This was a live streamed, you can see it. The context surrounding everything is a little bit he said, she said, but there is absolutely like no disputing the fact that Brayden ran over a guy. I'm gonna play the clip, I'm gonna show you kind of what happens here because he says some shit that makes this all look really bad, and we'll go from there.
Start driving with this guy. Drive.
Okay, so as you can probably tell, this is where he begins to accelerate. Not going to be showing the guy getting run over, but I want to show something kind of in the background here. This is a very nuanced situation. It's a situation that's very hard to form an opinion about, because I'll show in the background, there's like a compilation of this guy messing with Brayden, kind of stalking him and harassing him in public, which is bad. Obviously, it's bad, but this is all I was really able to find. All the claims of this guy having a weapon, I'm not seeing anything personally that's substantial substantiating those claims, which if this is just a guy who's been stalking you, you can't just kill somebody for bothering you in public. Like, I could probably believe that Brayden might have actually thought that he was in danger here because this guy had been stalking him the entire day. But I feel like a lot of this is really gonna end up hinging on whether or not the whole like him drawing a pistol thing is true, because I don't think many people are gonna say, okay, well, this guy was messing with you all day and then he jumped on your hood. That's reasonable enough for you to think that your life is in danger if you didn't think he was armed. Now, if there's a reasonable series of events here where Brayden can show, hey, I thought this guy was armed, I thought my life was in danger. If this was the entire situation, this clip here and this clip only, he'd probably be fine. Like, I'm pretty sure this happened in Florida. If this can be reasonably framed as self-defense, he'd be absolutely fine. But this clip does not exist in a vacuum. Not only is there the issue of for this to be justified, Brayden and his lawyers are gonna have to get a jury to believe that he thought his life was in danger and that he did this because he was trying to escape, he was trying to save himself, and he felt it was the only option. That is generally how these things go if you go to trial for something you did in self-defense. What makes this really, really, really bad for Brayden is something he said before and after this happened, and these two things have a very real possibility of sending this guy.
So it's gonna show the two clips, I assume, right? This is the part that I have problems with, specifically why I blame him specifically for these parts. Like I said, the reason why I blame everybody, the system failed him, number one, because you know, probably should have called the cops to take care of him, right? The guy is being a dumbass to begin with, right? Trying to harass this dude, trying to get a reaction from him, right? And then number three, what he literally said specifically, and the actions that he did or so to cause this, made him look a little bit more questionable, to be honest, you know?
Prison.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Is he dead?
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Okie dokie. So as you can see, right after he runs over a person, he says, is he dead? Hopefully. This is pretty fucking bad. It's not the worst thing ever because I feel like you could reasonably argue that this is like a heat of the moment thing, adrenaline, emotional spillover, whatever. You know,
yes, but there's a counter argument for this one specifically. If he is very emotionally charged at this point in time and place, what do you think it's not going to happen again later down the line, you know, a couple years later? I'm just saying. If it happened once, it'll happen twice.
You're arguing that you just had to defend your life. It's not unreasonable to think that you would say something you don't really mean, but what could very likely end up fucking Brayden over here is before any of this happened. As he was in the parking lot walking towards his truck, he says this.
Bro. The best course of action is just get in your whip and get the fuck out.
Yeah, I know the best course of action, but I want to kill each and every one of these guys.
In GTA.
No, I want to.
Well.
Yeah, so,
Yep. He doesn't sound scary or looks scared, so that doesn't really work. True. He sounds like he has like actual premeditated like actual thought process of actually like, you know, eliminating something. And that specific thought process can be carried down the line or so in another confrontation that can happen, you know, many years down the line. So I'm just saying, we've seen behaviors like this before. Let me remind you, this is a normal thing that in human society, that things that you decide to approve and let it go, you know? You must be careful who you let back into the wild. I'm just saying, you know? Like, that's why I blame everybody at this point. You know, everyone is to blame here, okay? He's not innocent. The guy that was jumping on his car is not innocent either. You know, not even the system that failed him specifically also is innocent. No, literally everyone's at fault to a degree.
That's not the best look. Sorry for the dog shit clip quality. It's the only one I could find. But, saying you want to kill somebody like 5 minutes before you kill somebody definitely changes how people are going to look at the fact that you might have killed somebody. Now, to be clear, saying something stupid does not like strip you of your right to acting in self-defense. This is not necessarily an automatic like he's screwed kind of thing, but it definitely does hurt your chances of being able to convince a jury that you only did this because you felt like like you had to. And I feel like that's probably what this is going to end up coming down to. This seems like something that will go to trial, and I feel like there is a very real chance that this guy has kind of screwed himself over by not keeping his mouth shut. I mean, like, if it turns out that this guy was not armed, and more importantly, really, there was no...
And he's supposed to be like, is he supposed to be like an alpha male, or is he just a Looksmaxxer? Is that what he is? Because if he's just a Looksmaxxer, then, but if he's supposed to be an alpha male, right? If he's supposed to be an alpha male, then it's like, it's kind of like, well, an alpha male doesn't really act that way, in my personal opinion. That's not an alpha male. That's just a guy who is just emotionally charged. Probably a lot worse than an actual woman being on their period. I'm just saying, you know? I thought I was fucking crazy, but man, this guy is probably a lot more crazier than I am, in my personal opinion, so I'm just saying.
Reasonable situation where Brayden could have been led to believe that he was, and he said he wanted to kill somebody 10 minutes before running somebody over, and then he says he hopes he's dead. I mean, this is a bad look for this guy, and I'm real curious to see how this ends up playing out. I mean, like I said, it's kind of hard for me to form an opinion on this right now. I don't like this Brayden guy. I think he's kind of a loser, and I think a lot of people don't like this guy, and it's leading them to just immediately say he belongs in prison, and I think that there's a pretty good chance that he does. But if this guy was stalking this dude...
I'll be honest with you, these kinds of guys are babies to me. That's all I gotta say. They're not attractive to me. They're really not. They really are not attractive to me.
Dude and flashing pistols and threatening him, that's a completely different situation. If you truly believe that somebody wants to harm you, and you truly believe that they have...
For God's sakes, I literally dated guys who were emotionally charged. God, one of my exes literally turned emo in a span of fucking 30 seconds, and another one turned emo in 1 day. It's like, what the fuck, dude? What are we doing here?
A gun, and that other person has been giving you reasons all day to believe that,
He
and
reverted
then
back
they
to high
jump on
school.
your car hood, not letting you leave a parking lot. What else are you really meant to do? I mean, if you've been harassing a person all day long, leading them to believe that you're armed, even at one point, like in that compilation earlier that you saw, initiating physical contact with the person and like trying to start a fight, if all those things are true and then you jump onto somebody's car hood when they think you have a gun, what could you possibly expect to happen other than getting ran over? Seriously. Like, look, I don't like this clavicular dude whatsoever,
I don't like him either.
but how I feel about a person personally does not influence whether or not they have the right to defend themselves.
Yes.
But like I
Yeah,
said
of course.
earlier, I can't find anything substantial that like is really backing up this gun thing. I can't even really tell where it's coming from, so I mean, this might just be like a clavicular fan being like, well, he had to have thought they were armed. You know, I don't really know, and I don't think anybody really knows right now the full details of what's going on here, but regardless, I think there is a very, very real chance that this 19-year-old dude has thrown his life away because he wanted to play this fucking character.
Wait, wait a second. You told me this guy's 19 years old?
Details of what's going on here, but regardless, I think there is a very, very real chance that this 19-year-old dude has thrown his life away because he wanted to play this fucking character on Kick.
Damn, what a baby. He looks 30. He does. He looks old. He's 19. He's 19. Dude, when I was 19, I looked way younger when I was 19. Even like, look, I'm like super old now. Like I am like way old, right? I still look like I'm young. I sound like I'm still young, but I'm not. I'm old, okay? Like literally. Like, apparently apparently people mistaken me that I sound young. People have mistaken me how I look like, and they think I look young. But I'm like way fucking older. I'm like billions of fucking years old, you know? It's crazy though. I'm at 26 yet I look my age. Dude, it's the craziest thing that a lot of these young people think that Looksmaxxing and using plastic, like doing the plastic surgery on your face, thinks it's gonna solve your ageness. No, that's just not how it works. It's just literally, just dieting is what helps you keep your clean, like your skin clean. Don't drink any alcohol and don't smoke because that actually makes you age faster. and just have a good skincare routine. Work out, you know, have a nice, good, you know, normal. You don't have to be consistent. You don't have to, like, you know, go all out on working out or anything like that. You can just do some normal workouts and you'll be fine. But skincare routine is number one. The way how you eat, your dieting and everything is number two. And then you just take care of yourself. That's it. You just gotta take care of yourself as the best you can, you know? That's what I'm saying. I was just like, you don't need to do what this guy is doing. This is not the answer. It's like all these kids are like thinking like the short-term answer, like doing OnlyFans is gonna solve everything for them, or doing the Looksmaxxing is gonna solve all of their fucking problems, but it's not going to solve your problems. It really is not. It doesn't fill the empty void that you're gonna have and the self-consciousness that you're gonna have still forever and ever and ever. And then the problem is when you do these things at a very young age because you're still developing, when you get older, you're gonna age even far worse. And all of that fucking plastic surgery is not gonna keep up anymore, because now at that point, once you reach the age of finally, now you fully matured and your body finally fully matured, it's gonna start looking very terrible on your skin in general. But now it's just kind of like, you know, once you start and you continue it, there's no going back at the end of the day.
Who would have thunk that saying you want to kill people might end up coming back to bite you? Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Like I said, we might all be kind of just like wasting our time here talking about this. There's probably a lot that's going to come out about all this.
That's what
because
I
really can't imagine this like not being pursued by prosecutors. I mean, you've literally got a guy saying, I want to kill somebody tonight, and then he runs a person over with a 7,000-pound vehicle. Kind of hard to ignore that one, I feel. Maybe not though. I don't know. Hopefully,
actually, we Gen Zs don't drink. Was watching a VOD that the alcohol industry is in trouble. Well, of course they're in trouble now, because they now people have been more educated, so to know that what is wrong when you drink alcohol and you smoke and everything. Like people even they taught this to us. Like they even taught us specifically as well, you know. Where they said, you know, this is what happens, this is what this is, you know, all the we had commercials where literally they had like cigarette commercials in cartoons, or they had alcohol in cartoons, you know, they had all this stuff and everything, you know. But the funny thing about it, right, we've never, like me and my older brother, because I'm doing my, you know, I'm doing the actual perspective of my siblings specifically from my experience, right? We don't really drink. Like it's very rare that we drink. Like it's super rare. Even if we drink, right? When we drink, it's every like not even a blue moon. I'm gonna say a fucking pink moon, okay? That is even rarer than a blue moon, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you. Pink moon. You will never see me drink unless it's a pink fucking moon, okay? All right? And even then on top of that, it's only like 2% or 3% of alcohol. I prefer 2%, but there's no 2% anymore. There used to be 2% alcohol, but then there isn't anymore. But that's it. That's literally it. You will never see me go beyond that. I will take like maybe like one little bottle every like couple weeks. Like I'll buy me like a case of six or so of like an alcohol or so, just to celebrate something. But I haven't really drank an alcohol in like over 2 years. So that's about it. It's been like over 2 years since I had another bottle of like 2% alcohol in my mouth. So that's it. But that was like on New Year's though. That was it. That was like 2 years ago on New Year's. I still remember that too as well. And that's basically it. So, but even then, I'll still never drink. I think I'd rather, what I prefer to drink or so, it's literally the sparkling white grape or so that this brand. This is like the one thing that I drink or so. My sister loves this too as well. I think she personally loves this specifically. Is this little shindig? Yeah, this little shindig. This specific brand or so, you know. Like we'll drink that. That's about it, you know. And I know vaping is also not good either. So, because I know vaping is like, it's not really a solution for you. Like, actually, just stopping in general. It's just better overall. So, But yeah, I don't know. For me personally, it's still weird.
We can finish out the year here without anybody else getting run over, but genuinely,
That's
and this is
crazy.
kind of
I'll be
fucking
honest with
terrifying
you.
with the way that
What a way to
things
end
been
a year,
going
I'll be honest
recently,
with you.
that almost seems unlikely. Hell yeah, I guess. So yeah.
What a way to end a year, I'll be frankly honest with you. Jesus Christ, honestly. Oh my lord, dude. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. For me personally, this guy is personally not my type of dude. Is he hot? Yeah, of course he's hot. Of course he is. Would I ever smash this kid? No, probably not. Never. Because he's a kid, number one. And also number two, the way how he acts and the way how emotionally charged he is, he's not a man. He's not a man. That's not how a man is at the end of the day. Yeah, like, I can still respect the guy, right? That he looks good. Like, he does. I'm not saying he doesn't not look good, okay? But his personality is what makes him ugly. And I'd rather not, I'd rather not date somebody like that, Because at the end of the day, you're ugly. That's why I call these people ugly, because of their personality. That's the only reason why. And I've dated many types of guys, okay? I've dated from guys that were shorter than me, guys that were taller than me, some guys that were fatter than me, And it's just kind of like, I had no problem with them because their personality is what literally what actually provokes me, But unfortunately, they all never ended very well, because at the end of the day, they were really hiding that part of the personality that literally clavicular reminds me of them. That's the reason why. His personality reminds me of my ex's. It's that little, like, bits and pieces of it. And that's what I have issues with, Then drugs could have effects on your state of mind too. Well, especially if this guy is taking meth, I'm like, he's taking that to be skinnier, And it's just kind of like, not just kind of like, oh, I feels like there's gonna be what's the word? Some bounce back or so from that at the end of the day. It's like those people try to hide their true personalities until they get married. That's the problem that I have. That's why for me now, if I want to date somebody, I'm gonna be like, we're taking it slow, because I need to get to know you. That's all I gotta say. Like, I need to get to know you, because I don't know what you truly are. You can be one way or so at the very beginning, but then once we start dating, and like now we're like a couple weeks or I should say a couple months anyways, a couple months in our relationship, and you start changing and being someone else, it's kind of like, that's pretty much it though. But yeah, again, how can you admit you do meth and not get locked up? Don't ask me, ask America at the end of the day. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And yeah, I don't like this dude. So he's a kid, he's a baby, he's still a kid. He'll never outgrow himself. And he will not change my mind that he is a kid and he is a baby and he's not attractive. Well, as his looks are attractive, but his personality is not attractive. And that is it. That's the end of the video. And like I said, all of my younger audiences that watch my videos, just work on yourself. That's all you gotta do. Don't follow any of those Looksmaxxers. Don't follow any of those red pills and black pills. Literally work on yourself as much that you can, with the best as you can. Do some research on yourself, like literally doing human body research to understand your body specifically, how it functions and how it works, and what products works for you is a better solution compared to this. And, well, besides beating your face with a fucking hammer or something, so.